Okay. So, okay, today we start with everyone can see my slide.
Yes, Puan.
Boleh Doktor.
Okay.
Boleh, Doktor.
So, if we remember, last week we have learned about development model, right? Ingat lagi kita ada buat kita belajar minggu lepas tentang design and development model. Okay, so from that previous lecture, okay, I have said or I have stated that there are three main phases include in design and development process, which are first, pre-production, second, production, and last phase is, siapa ingat? Pre-production, production and
Post.
post-production. Good. Okay, so during the three phases, there are several, or if we can specifically set 4 activities that we will do during all the phases. First is analysis activities or user requirement analysis, and second, design and development. Third is Second is design, third is develop, and fourth is after we have design and develop, what we do?
Testing.
Ha. Lepas kita dah siap semua ni, kita buat apa? The last one?
Test.
Before we launch the game? Yeah?
Test.
Yes, good. Testing. Okay. So, at these 4 main activities, this is important before we launch our game. Okay, so today I will elaborate to you about the first activities, which is analysis phase or user requirement analysis. Yeah. So our learning objective for today is to understand game development requirement and identify the user requirement for game development. It is important because before we want to proceed our game design and development, we have to plan first. We have to know what is the concept of our game. Who are the players? Okay? So, siapa yang baru masuk ni? Ish. Okay. Okay, we can continue. Okay, here we have to identify what is our game design goal. So there are several goals that we have to consider. First is about how to define the technical goals of our games in terms of software, platforms, hardware, and so on. Yeah. And then goals number 2. Okay, goals number 2 is how to raise funds for your game if funds are needed, because if we can see that to develop or design a certain game or maybe a complete game, okay, we have to make an investment. We have to buy hardware, we have to buy original software, right? But because now we just use the open source software. But if we want to upgrade or make our makes our games have full features or features yang berbeza dengan daripada yang provide one, we have to pay. Okay, we have to invest sikit lah. So here we have to identify or define where we can get the fund. Maybe we can get it from the grant, okay, project grant. Kalau dekat sini kita ada MOSTI, kita ada MDEC, kita ada Magic, any organization that provide a grant to develop a games. Okay, so we have to hunt the grant, and we have to do the proposal. So here, this is the importance of GCD, because if you want to hunt any grant from others resources, okay, like like I said before lah, ada kita punya kementerian ke, ada syarikat-syarikat sponsorship ke, yang ada yang ada allocation for to give funding to develop a game. So we have to come up with incredible ideas of GCD, game concept design, or pitching session tu nanti. Okay. And the third goal is to detail to define our team members. Okay, so kita punya teams tu have like I said last week, we have to we have to set up our team that have many abilities, such as some one person is good in artwork, okay, some person or one person is competent in programming. Okay, so masing-masing ada the role punya masing-masing, ya. Goal number 4, you could define the metaphorical parallel you hope to achieve in your games, because kita ada belajar dalam game game principle design, one of the element is metaphor. Okay, because our games have this, especially for the storyline or the asset, they present the metaphor. Okay, and then goal number 5, when you plan to release your game to the public, means okay, after you do the testing, after your game is complete, so when is the good time or right time to publish your game or release your games to the public, and what is platform? Maybe you want to release it at Steam ke, okay? Maybe ada yang dekat ada website tu apa nama dia? ITC HIO. Siapa ingat? Siapa pernah tengok? Itch.io, apa ke nama dia? Platform tu.
Saya.
Apa dia, website apa?
ITCH.io.
Dekat situ kan kita boleh download, kita boleh beli game kat situ kan, for the indie developer punya games kan. Yeah? Okay. And then the last one, how to market your games in the social media goes to promote your games. Okay, because the power marketing tool, okay, nowadays is social media. Sebab tu sekarang ni yang paling antara Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, apa lagi? Yang dalam social media yang paling sekarang tengah orang selalu gunakan untuk jual barang ada dekat mana?
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Saya tertinggal yang Twitter tu ya. Okay, Twitter pun ada. And then sekarang ni kalau WhatsApp pun selalu orang letak dekat status dia kan, untuk jual barang. Sampai kan kita tengok status orang tu, apa benda lah titik. Sama macam Instagram juga kan. Dia untuk dia promote dia punya produk ya. Okay, this is about the game design goal. And then we go to the game details. Here, okay, is the core idea which the investor or the stakeholder or the evaluator will attract. Is it your game is good or not? Okay, if your design is relevant or not. Okay, first is what is the purpose of your game. Okay, what is the main objective of your game. Okay, your game will educate the player how your game can educate the player. Okay, and then what benefit that the player get from your games. How satisfaction or how satisfy your games will make your player happy. Okay, this is the purpose of the game. And second, what makes this game different from the competing games? Means you have to make a market validation. You have to make survey. Okay, kita dah ada games yang similar. Kita rasa game kita ni macam kita inspired from some games kan. So kita do the comparison. Okay, let's say we want to make a game like the PUBG games, but maybe the difference between the PUBG and our games is our games asset is more like the Malaysian punya design, okay? Army suits dia, lepas tu dia punya forest dia, let's say kita boleh kenal, oh forest ni sebenarnya ada dekat Taman Negara, macam tu. Okay, so what this is a specialties about our games. So the difference of our game is one of the main point, yeah. And then the third one is what the story setting. Okay, because the one of the elements of game design is narrative. So the story setting is important to make our player engage with our game. Yeah. The fourth one is what or who will the player control. Okay, maybe the player will control with the player will compete with computer, okay? Or we can say it apa, NPC kan, non-player NPC ke? Saya pernah lupa ni.
Betul.
Apa dia?
Non-playable character.
Non-player character. Or maybe if the game is the collaborative games, so kita ada team yang from others, okay, multiplayer and community punya apa tu? Yang apa tu kiranya yang ada tag team lah kan. Okay, so kat sini kita boleh tengok who or what will the player control. Sama ada dia punya apa tu, dari segi weapon dia, dari segi dia punya information, dari segi dia punya team punya control pun kita boleh identifykan dekat game details, ya. Okay. Tadi, before this, we said about the purpose of the games. Sometimes the purpose is the general statement of what game will provide. But the specific one is the main objective. So here there are several challenges that our player have to accomplish. So we have to state what objective they have to achieve. Okay, during they play the games, because without the objective, the player will astray lah. Dia akan sesat. Dia tak tahu what to do. Okay, the main objective is important. And then, like I said before, even there is the game for single player or multiplayer, because single player and multiplayer have a quite different punya features. So we have to consider lah untuk single player, how interactivity that we have to include in our games. Okay, kalau multiplayer pula macam mana features dia ataupun apa dia punya navigation or how they want to control each other. Okay, this is important game details that we have to identify first, ya. Okay, and then game story. Okay, game story. Macam saya kata tadi, ada narrative that make our player to keep engaged with our games. Okay, here it said use this section to tell the entire story behind your game. Okay, let's say this is my student punya FYP. Okay, dia punya tajuk games ni dah lupa lah apa dia punya tajuk games ni. Okay. Tapi dia punya naratif tu, okay, saya boleh baca kat sini. Vegan ni nama orang kot. Vegan's team had lost 3 members, Taylor, Sarah and Fox, as they were missing because of their helicopter had been crashed on the way back to the vegan base. Vegan kot nama dia. The research had been done by vegan organizations that they believe the lost people were stranded in one of these of undiscovered island, which is Beach Island. Vegan's team had sent 16 members to find 3 of them, but unfortunately, the number of team had been decreasing days by days till the only one who is survived, last Lucy. Okay, does Lucy succeed to bring back her lost friends home? So here narrative ni we have to creative. We have to creative, macam kita ni buat filem jugalah dalam games ni, macam kita pun buat filem. We have to imagine the storyline, the feeling. We have to put some feelings here. So that makes our game story interesting and engaging. Yeah. And then games inspiration. Okay, game inspiration is important to help game designer and developer to grasp the game concept. That means the main idea of the games. Okay, because kadang-kadang meniru tu pun bagus juga, tapi bukanlah meniru bulat-bulat, not copy paste ya. Tapi we just we just grab some idea, the concept of the game. And second, to help people to visualize the game idea. Okay, later when you present your games, maybe you can put some example. What is your game look like? Okay, let's say you want to do the horror games. So maybe you can show us what the concept or same concept like the already game have developed. Okay, so we can get, oh, you want to do like this, okay, because this game, what. But you said you have made modification in which part, okay, kat situ kat mana pula part yang your own idea, your own originality, yeah. And then the third, the inspiration can get from movies, okay, kita boleh tengok daripada movies, photograph, music video or other games. Okay, sebab tu saya pernah buat assignment sebelum ni yang macam yang Afiq cakap tu adalah berdasarkan lirik music video. Okay, tu pun salah satu interesting jugalah idea apa tu games yang dibina dekat situ. Okay, and now for your batch, I get idea from research. Means sekarang ni tengah dalam orang asyik cakap pasal STEM. So from here, okay, I get the inspiration is how to make people feel the science and technology is interesting. Tu maybe nak bina satu unreal world ke kan. Macam itulah. So kat situ boleh bebas and we can think beyond the real life kan. So kat situ the inspiration we can get from movies, maybe ada movie yang boleh dijadikan rujukan untuk the reference for our games punya maybe background, environment, asset, okay, the character itself and so on. And the fourth one is historical background inspiration such as ancient folklore, urban myths and mystical creation. Okay, contohnya dekat sini. Okay, my student juga dia buat FYP dia kata I am using the retro games pixel art as my games art style. Okay, kat sini retro games pixel, dia guna yang jenis pixel punya, bukan yang the image tu. The player sprites and the environment of my games were pixels arts and it looks like it's coming from the old game. Mana dia inspired dia from the retro games. Okay. This kind of art style is also influenced by the game To the Moon. So here at the left side is the real game or the already games in the market called To the Moon. And then the left side is his game. Okay, yang dia design sendiri inspired by To the Moon punya games. Okay, so here pun nanti you all pun boleh buat macam tu jugalah. Ya. Yeah? Okay, terms yang ni rasanya pernah dengar kot, USP or we call it unique selling point. Okay, unique selling point are a most or common sales technique in the pitching of games to potential stakeholder, caught the attention of the media for publicity or selling the game to the customer. First, if we want to go for pitching of our games, we have to know who is our stakeholder. If our stakeholder or our sponsor is from industry that for let's say from Petronas, let's say okay, Petronas. So maybe we can capture their attention or their interest by using the logo, okay, and then maybe the gameplay is about the oil, okay, about the gas tu punya kata the benefits or the powerful of the gas to our transport, macam tu lah, apa-apa benda yang boleh ada kelebihan dalam kita punya games tu. A USB isn't necessarily a game mechanics. It can also be a specific visual style, an original location or story, or even a tremendous amount of content. Macam saya kata tadilah, tak semestinya gameplay tu, tapi maybe dari segi dia punya logo, dia penggunaan dia punya apa tu, color, okay, and then maybe kalau di Malaysia, we put the Malaysian setting, macam tu lah antara unique selling point yang kita boleh include in our games. Okay, macam contohnya Hunger Games ni, we all know that Hunger Games punya movie memang meletup, popular. So, they take that advantage to make it a game, okay, as the substitute for the movie. So, from there, the movie can spread and can market the movie. Okay, selain daripada boleh tengok movie tu, they also can play the games and people will feel the character of each of the character in the game tu. Macam tu lah, okay, antara orang kata marketing strategi untuk satu-satu produk tu. Okay. Okay, then we look at the player requirement. Okay, kita dah tengok goal design, and then goal design, kita tengok game story, kita tengok apa lagi tadi? Game detail, game story, game inspiration, okay, and then unique selling point, and then player requirements. Okay, player requirement, we have to identify who is the target player, platform apa kita nak guna, genre dia, hardware, software, okay. And here we have cognitive, physical capability. Okay, we have to realize because not all our players have the same capability in terms of cognitive and physical. Maybe some of them have some apa tu orang kata disability in terms of macam mungkin dia ada masalah dari segi pembelajaran, okay, dan sekarang ni macam-macam ada penyakit, bukanlah penyakit, orang kata the special abilities such as autism, kita ada ADHD, kita ada dyslexia, okay, semua benda tu melibatkan kognitif punya capability. And maybe yang kalau physical capability pula, mungkin dia tak ada tangan, dia tak ada kaki, okay, dia tak cannot see, cannot speak, okay, deaf semua tu, okay. So here pun kita pun kena tahu who is our target user and the requirement of our player tu juga, ya. And then player characteristic, okay, kadang-kadang, okay, ingat tak tahulah pernah belajar tak yang dulu yang player ni dia ada 4 karakteristik utama. Siapa ingat? Senyap macam ni. Ada ke tak?
Ada. Ingat.
Apa karakteristik untuk player ni? Kita ada siapa yang suka jadi killer. Lagi apa? Saya pun tengah cari dah ni. Player traits.
Sekejap. Tengah fikir. Apa
Saya jumpa ni. Sekejap. Player trait.
Achiever, socializer, explorer, fighter.
Good. Siapa tu? Fikri. Fikri. Zikri ke Fikri? Mana tadi?
Zikri.
Zikri. Sebutkan Zikri.
Achiever,
socializer,
explorer,
dengan
fighter ataupun killer.
So this player traits ni dia mempengaruhi or influence the character of the individu tu. Kita boleh tengok individu tu punya, orang kata, dia punya apa tu, specialities, okay, or dia punya characteristic more to which state of player tu. Okay, so here we have to tahu jugalah kalau games kita tu more about the action, the concept or theme or genre more the action, fighting. So kat situ maybe dah menghimpunkan the player-player trait yang kena ada bentuk, yang kena ada ciri-ciri yang macam mana. Okay. Okay, and the last one is about the project timeline. So here, dekat sini, kita dah dapat tentulah project timeline kita. Kita ada, first we have to make sure or we have to identify first which model or develop design and develop model we want to implement. Okay, ada yang sebelum ni kita akan belajar ada GDLC, game design life cycle or game development life cycle. Okay, ada agile model, ada AD model, ada rapid prototyping. Okay, so kita boleh pilih which one that we want to implement or we want to apply, and then we structured the phase or activities based on the timeline. Okay, let's say sekarang ni minggu ke-4. So minggu ke-4 dah sepatutnya dah selesai dengan konsep idea. Okay, and then for the next berapa bulan lagi akan start dengan design and development. Okay, yang ini project timeline ni dekat dalam kelas project management dah belajar ke? Dr. Mai dah belajar ke?
Tuan belajar apa
Dah.
gunakan chat.
Ada kata udah, ada apa kata belum. So nanti kena tentukan jugalah dari segi project timeline ni. Okay, yang ini pun kena ada dekat dalam GCD. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. Any question? Ada sesiapa nak tanya?
Tak ada.
Okay, I count from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3. Ya, Zima, apa?
Tak ada apa-apa, tak tanya.
Okay, so clear ya about phase analysis? Clear? Iliana?
Clear pun.
Nurin ada? Iliana ada ke tak ada? Syamimi? Humaira okey?
Ada, doktor.
Ada.
Okay, good.